Hey everybody, and welcome back to the macro. Hope everyone's having a wonderful day out there, and hopefully my audio is sounding a lot more clearer and better than it's ever been. I'm hoping this is a new mic that I'm trying out, so hopefully it sounds good. Let me know in the comments. Why do most people fail in crypto? Let's talk about it. Number one being ignorance, and number two being greed. And these two things combined can be absolutely devastating to anyone who's looking to getting into crypto to build some kind of wealth or whatever it is that they're looking to do. Now, just keep in mind, this video is not to be taken as financial advice. This is my own opinion, my own experience. If you're seeking financial advice, please seek a financial professional, okay? And make sure that with any investment that you do, any kind of whatever it is, that you do your own research first, that you do your own due diligence. This video is going to be for educational purposes only. But let's talk about it though, beginning with ignorance. And when I say that word, I'm talking about the lack of knowledge, the lack of understanding. And a lot of people that get into crypto and are involved in the financial markets in general don't understand the cyclical nature of these things, the boom and bust cycles. Now, there's a lot of different things, a lot of different events that can affect when it fully booms, right, and when it busts. But it's important to know that these things happen typically between every 4 to 5 years. Now, for quite some time, we've been told that the Bitcoin halving, and if you're unsure what that is, please look it up. But when the Bitcoin halving occurs, usually, I would say somewhere between 6 to 8 months later, the crypto market begins to move up, and the Bitcoin halving occurs every 4 years. Okay, and it's not like it's in the same month, for every year or anything like that. But when this occurs, typically sometime afterwards, there's this upward movement in crypto. And so what happens for a lot of people is that they don't understand this getting in. So when they perhaps initially buy a cryptocurrency, let's say like Bitcoin, XRP, Stellar Lumens, Cardano, there's so many HBAR, some amazing projects out there. But with that said, they don't know what part of the cycle, right, that they've bought into. And I know for me personally, when I first started getting into crypto and the first purchase that I actually made, I had actually no idea that we were in the bust cycle of it, right? The bear market of it, where the value of, let's say, a particular cryptocurrency is 80% down from its all-time high. I had no clue. And it was just ignorance. It was just a lack of knowledge, a lack of understanding. I did not know, right? I didn't understand it at the time. I found out maybe a month or two down the road. I can't remember. It's been a while, but a lot of people don't understand that. And this is where your education in these things is going to be so critical for your success. Your education in anything, you need to understand the basics. You need to have a strong foundation on what it is that you're building off of. So understand that in crypto, there is and the same thing with the stock market, guys. There's a very cyclical nature to these things, and it's important to understand it. And there's other factors too that are involved. We can talk about things like global liquidity. We can talk about where the Federal Reserve monetary policy is, because that has huge ramifications for all assets across the board, which affects global liquidity and so on and so forth. There's a lot. But a lot of people are going to fail in crypto because they don't understand that it runs in cycles. And that if they're buying at a time where it's towards the top, well, chances are there's going to be a period of time after where the value of that cryptocurrency goes down dramatically. But the good news is that's a great buying opportunity. And then sometime afterwards, it'll rise back up in price. You can see it. You can look at it on the charts for yourself. And lastly, let's talk about the greed. This is a very human thing to feel, greed. And so what a lot of people end up doing is they get into crypto, they see their portfolio rising, maybe several hundreds of percent, maybe in a week, right? Whatever it is, depending on what time you're actually getting into this market. But then what happens is the greed takes over and you start thinking, man, I think it's just going to keep going up, up, and up. And there's all different narratives that comes into play. Everything from the super cycles, and then this government's getting into it, and this popular person or hedge fund manager is buying it now, and there's always a narrative to it. But again, it works in cycles. So eventually, the party's going to stop, right? The dance is going to be over at some point. Party's going to be over, and you want to be closest to the door to exit. But again, that greed factor takes over, and you can get to a place where you actually don't sell. You actually don't take your profits. So you end up riding that wave all the way up just to ride it all the way back down. And that, to me, sounds absolutely terrifying. And again, it's that greed factor. We know it's a very human thing to feel, and I get it. So you're going to get caught up in all of the stuff on Twitter and on YouTube. And trust me, there's plenty of people on these social media platforms that are trying to show you all kinds of stuff and trying to give you a story. And unfortunately, a lot of it is to just whatever they're heavily invested in, they want that to rise in value. And they understand the influence that they have on people, right? Especially if they have a big following. I'm just telling you the truth. To find really good, sound information on this market, it took me quite some time. And I had to sift through all of the crazy hype nonsense on YouTube. I really did. I was just trying to look for the truth. But when you find the truth, you're going to know it. But it takes some time. But anywho, greed can be a major factor. And I believe that's why a lot of people are going to fail in crypto. So keep in mind those two things. Maybe you're getting into the crypto market just now. Maybe you've been in it for several months, several years. But just be aware of those two things. Don't let your own ignorance harm you. Educate yourself. Learn about these things. And you'll come across people who can, especially those very crypto specific channels, those very niche channels. They're going to be able to teach you a lot. Definitely a lot more than I could. So just keep that in mind. Continue to educate yourself. Continue to learn. And don't let greed be that thing that prevents you from taking profits and potentially changing your life. All right? All right, guys. We'll speak again soon. Take care.